Often I wonder, how will my father react seeing who I am today, how I turned out to be the man that I am today. Regardless of what happened as a kid, no one is perfect. But I always ask myself, only if he could see me today. Only if he can see how I turned out today. But I would never know what that feeling would feel like. When my father took his life in 2003, I didn't have no emotional connection. All I had was the hurt, the pain, the sorrow that I had against him, the hatred I had against him. But I would never be able to look this man in his face and say, I'm sorry for hating you, for not wanting you in my life. I'm sorry for whatever you went through that you couldn't love me as a man. I'm sorry. There's so many young men today that's living a life full of hurt, full of pain, full of anger. And that emotion is connected to something. Maybe it's abuse. Maybe the father done walked out of their life. Maybe they watched their father who had an alcohol problem beat his mom, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's something connected to that pain that causes the young men today to act the way they acted. I had that pain. I carried that hurt. I walked around with so much anger because what my father done to me. The man told me in my face that I wasn't his son, and I carried that. I carried that hurt. I carried that pain, that resentment. I carried that. And for me to turn out to be who I am today, I've always asked myself, if only he can see me today. If only he could see the man I have become. But he would never see that. But I know in spirit that he's smiling. I know in spirit he is happy. But I get the opportunity to show my mom the love that I never received. She's living today to see that despite what her young boy done growing up, he turned out to be an amazing man. What I'm trying to get my young men to understand is this. There is something emotionally connected to you doing the things that you're doing today. What I'm telling you is this, that you must understand to let go of that hurt, to let go of what somebody said or done to you. Maybe your father walked out of your life. Maybe your mom walked out of your life. Maybe you lost someone that was close to you and you holding on to that pain, and the only way you can let it out is by frustration, by hurting somebody, verbally and physically. But I'm telling you right now, that doesn't solve anything. Let go of that emotional hurt. I'll be telling you a story if you sit here to say that I don't miss my father. I'll be sitting here telling you a lie, saying that I don't miss him. Sometimes I ask myself, what would be his response to see how his son done turned out, despite of, with all the heartaches, with all the pain and anger that this man had inside of him. Sometimes I understand how important it was for him just to hug me, just to hold me. But to understand, maybe he didn't know how to hold me and hug me and tell me he loved me. I understand that now. But as a kid, I didn't understand that. As a kid, I wanted my father. As a kid, I wanted that protector. As a kid, I wanted that person to show me, to mold me, to help me grow into a man. I wanted that man to love me. But understanding today that this man didn't know how to love. All his life he knew was to hurt because he was hurt. Is to lash out because he was always being lashed out upon. But to understand how important it is for men to love their sons despite of what you wasn't shown, despite of what you wasn't given nor received, you still give it to yours. Young men today are crying out for man companionship. Young men today are crying out for a man to show them, to guide them, to show them the direction to go. But maybe there's no one in their family, in the community, to show them. So as I teach, as I try to show these young men the right direction, sometimes that little boy resurfaces. Sometimes that little boy is still crying out for his father. But he would never be back because in 2003, he took his life. So I'd never be able to look this man in his face and say, hey, Pop, how you doing? Hey, Pops, what you think about this? If only he could see me now. And I know in spirit, he see. I know in spirit, he's proud of me. But it's nothing like that physical love. There is nothing like that physical connection. Holding and hugging and giving that young man a smile. I never received that because I never had that. So that's why I had so much hurt and anger built up inside of me, no different than these young men today. But I'm encouraging these young men that you don't have to walk around with that hurt. You don't have to carry that baggage. You don't have to tell people what you don't like about them because it was never shown to you how to appreciate people and give people compliments and tell people you love them. Just because you never received it doesn't mean that you don't have to give. Learn to take the pain that you was once given and turn that pain into love. Love. Just because your father never was in your life doesn't mean that you still can't be a positive impact into another man's life. Another young man's life. So take that pain and turn it into something positive. The best example to set is showing people that what you thought I was going to turn out to be, I turned out to be something totally opposite. Yes, I had my bumps. Yes, I had my valleys. Yes, I had my hard times, but I overcame it. I am standing here today and showing you that I am victorious. That everything that was meant to kill me, to destroy me, it didn't prosper. I stood strong. But if only if my father can see me now, what would he say? How would he act? What would be his response to see his son today? But understand that even though he's not here to see it, in spirit, I know he's feeling it, he's enjoying it, and he's loving every bit of it.